This one is a level 7. We're doing it in Python. And as always, I highly recommend you try it out before watching the video. So there's a link to the challenge in the show notes if you want to give it a shot. As always, like and subscribe, and that helps keep me going and helps keep you informed. So this one is called maximum multiple. And so we are given a divisor and a bound, and we need to find the largest integer n such that n is divisible by the divisor, that n is less than or equal to the bound, and n is greater than 0. So let's try this out. Okay, so there's our divisor, and there's our bound. So I think what we need to do is just do it in increments of the divisor. So what I think is, let's do, I think I'm gonna have like a result, and we'll start it off as the divisor, and so eventually we're going to return the result. So we'll do while result is less than, or let's just do while true. So then this will be an infinite loop, but we'll break the loop with our truth condition at some point. So we'll say if the result is greater than or equal to bound, let's see. This is gonna be weird because then if you step over the bound, you've already gone too far. I think what we might do is just return result minus the divisor. And if we're not in that condition, then result plus equals the divisor. So let's see if this works. I'm not entirely sure if I've got this in the right spot. Okay, so this is interesting. Got some of them to pass. And the test that's failing is this one right here. Okay, so we want maybe we just change that condition there. So the boundary needs to be, if it's bigger than the result. We'll do a new temp there. Okay, cool, so that worked. So I just had to, it's okay to be equal to the bound, but once you're bigger than the bound, we need to take one divisor off and return that result. So this one, it's kind of hard for me to think this through, and if you're more of a visual person, again, you can always print this stuff out. So let's take an example here. So let's have divisor bound is equal to, and we'll wrap this as a tuple. Okay, so then what we can do is we'll say result is divisor, and so we'll say, while true, let's print the result, the divisor, and the bound, just so we can kind of look at them all. If you're, like I said, if you're a visual learner, then you need to print like crazy. So open up a notebook. That could be Google Colab. If you know how to spin up Jupyter, you can do that here as well. But we have our truth clause now. So if the result is greater than the bound, we need to take one of the divisors off. So we'll just break the loop here, and then we'll look at the result, and then result minus the divisor. Okay. So if something is divisible by the divisor, you have to keep going in increments of the divisor, right? So here what I'm doing is I'm going to say result plus equals the divisor. That way it's always divisible, right? Because you're always going in increments of your divisor. So let's run the cell and you can kind of see what's happening here. So the divisor is 10. So we're going to start the result off at 10. The divisor is 10. We're at 50. So we keep going. Result is at 20. Divisor is the same. So these two are going to always be the same, as you can see in the loop here. Once we equal the boundary, so here the total is equal to the boundary, and we're good there, right? So then we add another divisor there. So we're adding 10 more to it, and we get 60 here. And that's why at the end here, that's why I had to knock one of the divisors off, because once you've stepped over, you need to go one back, right? So that's what this part does here. And as you can see here, that's our return value is step one back, take the divisor, one of the divisors off, and then submit that. All right, so hopefully this was helpful. Please leave a comment if it was or wasn't. It helps me be a better teacher. And as always, thanks for spending some time with me.